Did you know this? Seniors who consume the wrong type of carbohydrates every day increase their risk of type 2 diabetes by up to 70%, even if they don't eat that much sugar. And that's not all. According to data from the CDC and the American Journal of Clinical Nutrition, high glycemic carbs can silently spike your blood sugar, damage your gut lining, accelerate memory loss, shrink your muscle mass, and even raise your risk of stroke, all without you noticing a single symptom until it's too late. And yet, most people over 60 are still being told to just eat whole grains or cut back on sweets. Advice that may be dangerously outdated. In today's video, we're ranking the 4 worst and 4 best types of carbohydrates for people over 60, based on the latest research in aging, metabolism, and cognitive health. Before we dive in, don't forget to like, share, and subscribe to Elderly Health Tips, where science meets real solutions for better aging. Let's go. First, let's take a look at the 4 types of carbs you should absolutely avoid. Number 1. White sandwich bread. As a physician who's worked with older adults for over 3 decades, I can tell you, bread is one of the most misunderstood foods in the American diet. Especially white sandwich bread. It's cheap, convenient, and nostalgic, sure, but it's also one of the most deceptively harmful foods for people over 60. Take my patient Janet, for example, a 64-year-old retired teacher from Ohio. She came to me struggling with sudden fatigue after meals, blurry vision in the afternoons, and what she called senior moments of forgetfulness. When we looked at her daily diet, guess what she had for breakfast and lunch almost every day? 2 slices of white bread, toast in the morning, a sandwich at noon. White bread is made from highly refined wheat flour, which has had nearly all of its fiber and nutrients removed. That matters. Without fiber, the starch in white bread digests almost instantly, causing a rapid spike in blood glucose. According to a study published in the American Journal of Clinical Nutrition, refined carbohydrates like white bread have a glycemic index, GI, of 70 or higher, meaning they cause blood sugar to rise almost as quickly as pure glucose, GI of 100. For older adults, this is a recipe for disaster. The CDC reports that nearly 1 in 4 Americans over 65 already has diabetes, and many don't even know it. Repeated blood sugar spikes can quietly worsen insulin resistance, leading to type 2 diabetes, weight gain, and chronic fatigue. Just to compare, 1 slice of white sandwich bread contains less than 1 gram of fiber. 1 slice of sprouted whole grain bread? Around 3 grams, and it's packed with antioxidants and minerals. Fiber is what slows digestion and keeps blood sugar levels stable. It also feeds healthy gut bacteria, which we now know plays a role in brain and immune health. In a 2021 study from the National Institute on Aging, older adults with higher fiber intake had significantly lower levels of systemic inflammation, a key factor in everything from dementia to nerve damage. Most commercial white breads are loaded with added sugars, sometimes listed as corn syrup solids or malt, hydrogenated oils, known to contain trans fats, preservatives, and emulsifiers, which may disrupt gut-brain signaling. A 2020 review in the journal Nutrients found that diets high in refined grains and added sugars were associated with a 57% higher risk of developing mild cognitive impairment in older adults. Yes, 57%. And in my own practice, I've seen this firsthand. Patients who cleaned up their diet, removing white bread and replacing it with high-fiber options, often saw dramatic improvements in focus, memory, and even sleep within just a few weeks. What you can do instead, starting today. Switch to sprouted whole grain bread. Look for labels like Ezekiel or sprouted 100% whole grain. These breads are digested slower, are lower on the glycemic index, and contain higher levels of B vitamins, which help protect nerves and the brain. Pair bread with protein or fat. Add avocado, almond butter, or eggs. This slows digestion and reduces sugar spikes. Avoid enriched labels. Enriched white bread may sound healthy, but it only means that synthetic vitamins were added back after stripping the natural ones out during processing. Watch for symptoms. If you experience things like energy crashes after meals, tingling or numbness in the hands or feet, difficulty remembering names or appointments, you might want to look at the type of bread you're eating. White bread damage builds slowly. For middle-aged adults, I'm talking about folks in their late 40s and 50s, this is the perfect time to switch gears. I tell my patients, you can either make the change now or deal with the consequences later. You wouldn't keep using a car part if you knew it was eroding your engine. Why do the same with your body? Number 2, a dangerous one. Boxed breakfast cereals. I remember one of my patients, Lorraine, 71, retired librarian from Arizona. She came in with bloating, high blood pressure and had just been diagnosed with prediabetes. When we reviewed her diet, the red flag was right there on the table. Healthy breakfast cereal with skim milk every single morning for the last 15 years. Let's be honest, boxed breakfast cereals are one of the most marketed health foods in America. But for people over 60, they're often doing far more harm than good. Most boxed cereals, even the ones labeled whole grain, are made with refined grains that digest way too fast. That means sugar spikes, insulin crashes, and over time, serious damage to your metabolic system. A report from the Harvard T.H. Chan School of Public Health found that high consumption of refined cereals was strongly linked to increased risk of metabolic syndrome, a condition marked by belly fat, high blood pressure, and elevated blood sugar, especially dangerous for seniors. And the sugar? Some brands pack in up to 15 grams per serving, before you even pour the milk. That's almost 4 teaspoons of sugar to start your day. No wonder my patients feel exhausted by mid-morning. Many cereals contain emulsifiers, phosphates, and preservatives designed to keep them fresh on the shelf. But not so friendly once they're inside your body. A study published in Scientific Reports in 2020 found that phosphate additives, commonly used in processed breakfast cereals, can impair bone mineralization and lead to muscle wasting, especially in older adults with low kidney function. And emulsifiers? These can alter your gut bacteria and have been linked to gut inflammation and digestive discomfort. If you're dealing with bloating, irregular bowel movements, or mystery stomach issues, your morning cereal might be a hidden trigger. So, what are the signs you should watch for? If you're over 60 and eating boxed cereal regularly, here are some red flags. You feel tired shortly after breakfast. You have gas, bloating, or irregular digestion. Your blood sugar has been creeping up at each checkup. You've noticed increasing belly fat or muscle loss. If any of those sound familiar, it might be time for a breakfast rethink. Now, what should you eat instead? Greek yogurt with nuts or berries, packed with protein and probiotics to support your gut and metabolism. Boiled or scrambled eggs, full of nutrients, and they'll actually keep you full. Sprouted or whole grain toast with avocado or nut butter gives you fiber, healthy fat, and a steady release of energy. You don't have to give up breakfast, you just have to give up the box. I always tell my younger patients in their 40s and 50s, this is the age to build the habits you want to still have when you're 70. Don't wait for your blood sugar to rise or your bones to weaken. Start now. Number 3. Potato chips. Eating French fries after 60 isn't just about gaining weight. It's about increasing your risk of high blood pressure, cognitive decline, heart failure, and even cancer, one crispy bite at a time. I've been practicing medicine for over 30 years, and one of the most common foods I see wreak havoc on my senior patients, without them even realizing it, is French fries. It's not that one serving will kill you, but when fries become a regular part of your routine, the damage quietly builds up in ways most people never connect to their symptoms. Let me walk you through it, step by step, with data. French fries start with white potatoes, one of the highest glycemic foods out there. A single medium-sized serving of fries can have a glycemic index, GI, of over 75, which causes rapid spikes in blood glucose. According to the Harvard T.H. Chan School of Public Health, diets high in glycemic load are directly linked to increased risk of type 2 diabetes, especially in older adults with declining insulin sensitivity. But it's not just about the sugar spike. Once you deep fry those potatoes, the damage compounds. Most restaurants and fast food chains reuse oil repeatedly throughout the day. This leads to the formation of acrylamide, a potentially carcinogenic chemical produced when starchy foods are cooked at high temperatures. The National Cancer Institute confirms that acrylamide has been shown to cause DNA mutations in animal studies. And although human data is still developing, the evidence is strong enough that many experts now warn seniors to reduce exposure, especially if consumed regularly over decades. In one large U.S. cohort study published in the American Journal of Clinical Nutrition, 2017, researchers found that people who ate fried potatoes more than twice a week had a 2 times higher risk of early death compared to those who rarely consumed them. Let that sink in. Double the risk of early death. French fries are also a nightmare for gut health, especially in aging bodies. The combination of refined carbs, inflammatory oils, and preservatives disrupts the balance of the gut microbiome, a system crucial for digestion, immunity, and even brain function. A study in Frontiers in Nutrition, 2023, showed that frequent consumption of fried foods was associated with increased gut permeability, aka leaky gut, which can trigger systemic inflammation and autoimmune reactions. This matters because as we age, our gut becomes more sensitive to dietary damage. Seniors with compromised gut health are at higher risk for nutrient malabsorption, mood disorders like anxiety and depression, chronic inflammation that contributes to Alzheimer's, arthritis, and heart disease. And when you add high sodium levels to the mix, a medium order of fries can have up to 400 to 500 milligrams of sodium, sometimes more. It becomes a major contributor to hypertension. According to the CDC, about 65% of adults over 60 in the U.S. have high blood pressure, and many don't even know it until complications occur. The salt in fries doesn't just taste good. It silently drives your blood pressure up meal after meal. Want to protect your memory as you age? Stay far away from fried starchy carbs. In a study published in Neurology, 2020, researchers found that diets high in fried foods and refined carbs were associated with accelerated brain shrinkage and a higher risk of cognitive decline, even among people in their 50s and 60s. Better swaps that still taste amazing roast sweet potatoes with skin on, rich in fiber, beta-carotene, vitamin A, and anti-inflammatory compounds. Air-fried carrots or zucchini sticks, you still get the crispiness without the carcinogenic load. Mashed avocado with baked root veggies, a heart-healthy, satisfying combo that keeps blood sugar steady. And here's a small but powerful tip. Add herbs like rosemary or paprika when roasting to mimic the fries experience, minus the danger. These swaps aren't just healthier, they're tastier, more satisfying, and easier to digest for older adults. Number 4. Rice cakes. I can't count how many of my patients, especially those in their 50s, 60s, and 70s, have proudly told me they swapped out chips or cookies for light, healthy rice cakes. One of them was John, 69 years old, a retired engineer from Colorado. He was gaining weight, feeling more foggy-headed, and struggling with energy crashes in the afternoons. The first thing I asked? What's your go-to snack? You guessed it. Plain rice cakes, 3 to 4 a day. He thought they were a smart choice. But here's what the science really says. Let's start with the basics. Rice cakes are made by puffing white rice at high temperatures, which makes them light and crispy, but also extremely fast to digest. That's a problem. According to the Harvard Medical School Glycemic Index database, plain rice cakes can have a GI between 82 and 91, depending on brand and processing. For reference, glucose, pure sugar. GI 100, white bread. GI approximately 75 rice cakes, GI 82 to 91. That's right, rice cakes often raise blood sugar faster than white bread and almost as fast as sugar itself. Now, why does this matter? Because when you're over 60, your body's insulin response weakens, and frequent blood sugar spikes lead to insulin resistance, which is the foundation of type 2 diabetes. According to the CDC, nearly 1 in 4 Americans over 65 already has type 2 diabetes, and many others are in the pre-diabetic range and don't even know it. Here's what a typical rice cake provides. Calories, approximately 35 to 50 fiber, 0 grams. Protein, 0.5 grams. Fat, 0 grams. Carbs, approximately 7 to 9 grams, almost entirely starch. This means it goes straight through your digestive system, turning into glucose almost instantly, causing a blood sugar surge, followed by a sharp crash. That's why many seniors feel lightheaded, irritable, or tired an hour after snacking on them. A study published in the American Journal of Clinical Nutrition, 2014, found that older adults who consumed high GI foods experienced significantly greater post-meal fatigue and reported lower alertness and memory performance compared to those who ate balanced, slower-digesting meals. Here's the deeper concern. High GI foods like rice cakes don't just affect your blood sugar. They fuel inflammation and oxidative stress, two of the biggest drivers behind neurodegenerative disease and vascular decline. In a 2021 review from the Journal of the American Geriatrics Society, diets rich in rapidly digesting carbohydrates were associated with increased levels of C-reactive protein, CRP, a key inflammation marker, higher rates of cognitive decline, greater risk of white matter brain lesions linked to memory loss and dementia. If you're already at risk, maybe you've noticed memory slips or nerve tingling, this matters. A blood sugar roller coaster from healthy snacks like rice cakes may be silently worsening those symptoms. Here's the irony. One rice cake only has about 35 calories, which seems like a smart choice. But because it lacks fiber, fat, and protein, it provides no satiety. You don't feel full, which leads to over-snacking. This sets you up for a calorie surplus, especially if you're also eating other high-carb snacks throughout the day. In a study by the UCLA Center for Human Nutrition, participants who ate high GI snacks like rice cakes were twice as likely to consume more calories in the following 2 hours compared to those who ate balanced snacks with fat and protein. So what should you reach for instead? Almonds or walnuts. Just a small handful provides healthy fats, fiber, and protein, all of which support blood sugar control and brain health. Whole grain toast with almond or peanut butter. Satisfying, rich in nutrients, and won't spike your blood sugar. Hard-boiled egg with sliced veggies. packed with choline, protein, and antioxidants, great for nerve and memory function. Avocado on rye crisp bread, still crunchy but loaded with fiber and good fats. Pro tip: always pair carbohydrates with protein or fat. This slows digestion, lowers the glycemic load, and keeps you full longer, preventing that sugar crash. Now let's move on to the most important part, the solution for seniors over 60. Here are 4 types of carbs you should eat every day. Number 1. Sweet potatoes. If you're over 60 and not eating sweet potatoes at least a few times a week, you might be missing one of the easiest, most delicious ways to protect your brain, heart, and gut health. I had a patient named Carol, 72, a retired school principal from Minnesota. She came to see me with muscle cramps, occasional blurry vision, and a general sense of fatigue. Nothing serious at first glance, but when we looked at her diet, it was heavy on bread, pasta, and processed snacks, and 0 sweet potatoes. After just a few weeks of adding them into her meals, especially cooled, roasted slices, she reported better digestion, fewer leg cramps, and even felt sharper mentally. Let's take a closer look at why sweet potatoes make such a difference, especially for seniors. First off, sweet potatoes are one of the best slow-digesting carbs you can eat. Unlike white bread or regular potatoes, they're digested gradually, which means your blood sugar stays stable, giving you steady energy instead of crashes. That's a game changer if you've been feeling tired an hour after meals. They're also packed with beta-carotene, which the body turns into vitamin A, crucial for eye health and immune strength. According to the National Eye Institute, older adults who get enough vitamin A have a 40% lower risk of age-related vision decline. Here's another bonus most people don't know. When you cook and cool sweet potatoes, like by roasting them and putting leftovers in the fridge, they form something called resistant starch. That's a special type of fiber that feeds the good bacteria in your gut. Why does that matter? Because gut health is directly linked to everything from mood to inflammation. A 2022 study in Nutrients showed that seniors who consumed more resistant starch had better digestion, stronger immunity, and even improved memory recall. If you've been dealing with gas, constipation, or feeling off after eating, adding cooled sweet potatoes to your meals could help rebalance your gut without supplements. Now let's talk about minerals, especially potassium and magnesium. These two are often low in older adults. And when they drop, you might feel muscle cramps or twitching, irregular heartbeat, trouble sleeping, low energy, or brain fog. Just one medium sweet potato can give you 15% of your daily potassium and a good dose of magnesium, both essential for muscle function, nerve health, and heart rhythm. I've had multiple patients in their late 60s who saw improvements in blood pressure and sleep quality just from increasing foods rich in these minerals, and sweet potatoes are one of the easiest, most affordable sources. So what's the best way to eat them? Roasted with skin on keeps the fiber and nutrients intact. Cooled and added to salads or grain bowls boosts gut health, mashed with olive oil or a sprinkle of cinnamon. Comfort food that actually helps your body, and skip the brown sugar and marshmallows. Sweet potatoes are already sweet enough on their own. Number 2. Lentils. I remember Linda, a 67-year-old retired nurse from Ohio. She came in with concerns about memory slips, low energy, and rising cholesterol. She didn't want to start on another prescription. So we made one small change. We added lentils to her meals 3 times a week. Within 2 months, her energy was up, her blood sugar stabilized, and she said she felt like her brain came back online. Let's break down why lentils are one of the most powerful foods for older adults, especially women over 60. First, lentils are packed with prebiotic fiber, the kind that feeds your healthy gut bacteria. This helps improve digestion, reduce bloating, and keep your immune system strong. A 2021 study in the American Journal of Clinical Nutrition showed that diets rich in prebiotic fiber can lead to 30% fewer inflammatory markers in older adults. That's huge for preventing arthritis, autoimmune issues, and even cognitive decline. Plus, this kind of fiber helps regulate bowel movements, something many of my older patients silently struggle with. Second, let's talk blood sugar. Unlike refined carbs, lentils are absorbed slowly, keeping your glucose levels steady. According to a study published by Harvard Medical School, replacing fast carbs like white rice or white bread with lentils can lower post-meal blood sugar spikes by up to 35%. That makes lentils a perfect carb for people with prediabetes, insulin resistance, or just trying to keep their metabolism sharp. Now here's something especially important for older women. Lentils are rich in plant-based iron, folate, and magnesium. These nutrients are essential for heart rhythm, red blood cell formation, and memory, all of which naturally decline with age. Many women after menopause become mildly anemic without knowing it. Symptoms like fatigue, brain fog, shortness of breath are often dismissed as just getting older. But sometimes it's just iron deficiency, and lentils can help fix it naturally. 1 cup of cooked lentils gives you 15 g of fiber, of plant protein, nearly 40% of your daily iron, for women, 90% of your daily folate. No wonder the World Health Organization lists lentils as one of the top 5 healthiest foods for aging populations. So how should you eat them? Toss them in a warm salad with olive oil and lemon. Add them to soups or stews for extra protein. Mix them with rice and herbs as a side dish, or make a lentil spread instead of mayo or cream cheese. They're cheap, easy to store, and cook in under 20 minutes. Perfect for seniors living alone or cooking in small batches. Number 3. Green peas. First, they're high in resistant starch and soluble fiber. That means they don't spike your blood sugar like refined carbs do. Instead, they slow digestion and help keep your glucose levels steady. Exactly what you want after age 60. A 2020 study published in the Journal of Nutrition found that older adults who regularly consumed legumes like green peas had 20 to 25% lower post-meal blood sugar spikes, especially when paired with healthy fats like olive oil. And that fiber? It feeds your gut microbiome, the good bacteria that protect your immune system and help with nutrient absorption. It also eases constipation, which many seniors struggle with quietly. But here's what really excites me as a doctor. Green peas contain leucine, an amino acid that helps build and repair muscle. As we age, muscle loss, sarcopenia, becomes a real concern, especially after 60. You might notice trouble getting up from a chair, weakness going upstairs, feeling like your balance isn't as strong. Leucine helps trigger muscle protein synthesis, which is the process your body uses to maintain muscle. A study in the American Journal of Clinical Nutrition showed that seniors who increased leucine intake retained significantly more muscle mass, even without intense exercise. So if you've been losing strength but haven't changed your diet, peas might be exactly what your muscles are asking for. They're also known to calm gut inflammation, thanks to both fiber and antioxidant compounds. If you've been dealing with bloating, irregular bowel movements, IBS-like symptoms, green peas are gentle enough to help soothe your system, especially when lightly steamed. Here's how I usually recommend preparing them. Steam or sauté with extra virgin olive oil and garlic. Add to brown rice, quinoa, or soups for texture and nutrients. Toss with fresh herbs and lemon as a quick, fiber-rich side. Just don't overcook them. You'll lose the nutrients. And skip the canned peas loaded with sodium. So here are some signs you might benefit from adding green peas into your meals. Feeling weaker in your legs or arms. Experiencing digestive issues like constipation or bloating. Blood sugar slowly creeping up on your labs. Trouble keeping your balance or muscle tone. If any of those sound familiar, it's worth giving these little green gems a regular spot on your plate. Number 4. Steel-cut oats. If you're over 60 and struggling with cholesterol, blood sugar swings, or mood dips, a bowl of steel-cut oats might be the simplest, smartest upgrade you can make to your breakfast. Let me tell you about my patient, Margaret, 70 years old, a retired librarian from Vermont. She came in with rising LDL cholesterol, afternoon crashes, and said she'd been feeling more anxious and off lately. We made just one change. Swapped her white toast and jelly breakfast for a bowl of warm steel-cut oats with cinnamon and walnuts. 3 weeks later, she said her energy was back, her mood was more even, and her doctor called to say her cholesterol had dropped 20 points. Here's why that one change worked so well. Steel-cut oats are digested slowly, much slower than instant oats or white bread. This slow digestion keeps blood sugar stable, which is key for seniors who may have pre-diabetes or energy crashes after meals. According to a 2018 study in the American Journal of Clinical Nutrition, people over 60 who regularly consumed steel-cut oats had more stable insulin levels and reported fewer energy dips and food cravings throughout the day. So if you ever feel drained a couple hours after breakfast, this is a powerful fix. Now let's talk about beta-glucan, the superstar fiber found in oats. Beta-glucan is known to help lower LDL cholesterol, reduce systemic inflammation, and strengthen immune response, especially in older adults. One clinical trial published by the National Institutes of Health showed that daily beta-glucan intake from oats reduced bad cholesterol by up to 10% in just 4 weeks, while also improving markers of immune function in people over 65. Pretty impressive for a simple bowl of oats. Even better, steel-cut oats are amazing for gut health. They act as prebiotics, meaning they feed the good bacteria in your colon, helping your body absorb nutrients better and reduce digestive problems like constipation or bloating. That gut support also impacts your mental health. Serotonin, the feel-good hormone, is largely produced in the gut, and when your gut is happy, your brain feels it too. That's why Margaret told me she felt calmer and less foggy after just a few weeks. So what does all this mean for seniors? If you're noticing afternoon fatigue, high cholesterol, low mood or anxiety, irregular digestion, your breakfast may need a serious upgrade. Here's how I suggest making it. Cook steel-cut oats slowly with water or almond milk. Add cinnamon, flaxseed, or chopped walnuts. Top with berries or half a banana for natural sweetness. Avoid brown sugar. Your body doesn't need it. Start with a small bowl a few times a week and see how your body responds. So now you know, these 4 carbs might seem harmless, even familiar, but they could be silently damaging your blood sugar, your memory, your gut, and your muscles as you age. But the good news? You can take control, starting with just one small change at your next meal. Your body is still listening. It's still adapting. And it's never too late to give it the fuel it truly needs. If this helped you or someone you care about, don't forget to like, share, and subscribe to Elderly Health Tips. Your support helps us keep bringing you simple, science-backed advice to help you stay strong, sharp, and healthy at every stage of life. Thanks for watching, and we'll see you in the next one.